welcome back to my next video. Today I'm going to go write another program, and I'm going to show you guys more decision structures. So what I'm going to do is, let's see, I'm going to write a program where it's going to check my age and it's going to tell me if I am of legal age to drink or not, okay? And I want you guys to use that information, and I want you guys to think about the logic, the algorithm that I'm about to do, and I want you guys to try to like apply it. Like don't think about writing the actual program out with code. I don't actually think about implementing it. Just think about how this program will work. Okay, so if you've already thought about it already and you kind of have the idea, then well, I guess you're all set. If you haven't, then that's fine. We're here to learn. What I'm going to do is I'm going to declare two variables, int age. It's going to hold my age, okay? I'm going to declare a constant, and to do that, you use final. The reason why you want to declare constants is so that you can't change it again later on. And what I mean by changing it again, for example, when it comes to variables like my age, I can rechange this variable over and over and over again inside the program without having to change the declaration value, like the declared initialized value, right? I can change it later on in the program. But when it comes to constants, you can't do that, okay? So int age limit, and you usually want to declare your constants in capital letters just so it's much more easier to distinguish. And I'm going to assign it the value of 21 if you're in the United States. Now here's where I'm going to write my decision structure. I'm going to write if age is greater than or equal to 21, or whoops, age limit, okay, system .out.println line, you are of legal age, okay, and I could go ahead and I can run this program, right? Whoops, I have an error somewhere if age. Oh yeah, I made an error. So before I do that, I have to actually tell them to enter your age, okay, and then I gotta use age is equal to key.next integer, right? Because the problem there was that age wasn't initialized, or there was no value in age, so it was trying to reference it, but you can't do that, remember. You have to make sure your things are initialized, your variables are initialized before you use them when it comes to, in the main method at least. So enter your age 22. You are of legal age. If I try it again, enter your age 20. Right? But rather than, just having it not say anything when the condition is false, I wanted to say something. So what I can do is I can either do an else if statement, right? And I'll tell you like when you should use else if statements and when you shouldn't. So else if age is less than age limit, which means if the age is less than 21, system will print out you are not of legal age, okay? And if we run this program, if I enter 19, you're not of legal age, right? Now, I mean, usually what you can do is that you can either do an else if statement or you can use an else statement. Like, let's say, for example, if I have an else statement over here, right? And it works the same exact way. Enter your age, 19. You are not of legal age, right? And the reason why we can just use an else statement is because there's really no other condition that is supposed to be met, right? Like it's either you're 21 or older or you're not, right? Now, so, and if let's say if we were dealing with a range, maybe it would make sense to use else if, right? But in that case, like, it just wouldn't make sense to use an else if. Like, I'll show you an example. So let's say if rather than let's say if they enter something that's that's at least greater than 18, right, but less than 21, right? Then they'll say something like you are of legal age to smoke. Okay, so let me actually change this. You are of legal age to drink. I want to make it more sense. So else if age is greater than or equal to 18, which means that if their age is at least 18, then I'm gonna have it say print line you are of legal age to drink. Okay, I'm sorry, to smoke, right? And then we're done with that, right? Now let's say if we enter something that's less than 18, nothing will print out, right? And I can write yet another else if statement. If let's say I want to print out you're of legal age to hold a permit in the United or in New York City at least, right? You can say system.out.println you are of legal age to hold a driving permit, and we're done, right? Now what if they're not any of these ages, right? Oh wait, actually I should have probably used other variables, but it's fine. Well, at least this reference is 21, but this was kind of a bad way to do it, but it's fine. I'm just showing you guys like what's more important is understanding the logic rather than our variables, okay? So now what if they're not any of these ages? Like, what if they're not 16 or 18 or 21, right? Then we can finally conclude our last statement. Else is usually like the last statement that the entire decision structure goes to, right? And what happens is, well, else if you're this is the last statement. So if this is false, and this is false, then this will be the final statement that it will go through. And there, you'll notice that there's no condition because this is the final statement. Like there's no other condition that needs to be met. You're not, at least 16 to, or you're not at least 16, you're not at least 18, you're not at least 21. So there's nothing else that you can do. So you're gonna say, sorry, you cannot hold a permit, smoke, or drink. Okay, and this applies to everyone that's less under the age of 16. Okay, or under the age of 18 or under the age of 21, right? And semicolon. So let's see what happens. Okay, so enter your age. If I enter my name, like notice what happens. If I enter my age as 19, like this thing is now false, right? Because my age was not greater than age limit. But instead, it checks the next condition, right? Because so look, the way it works, think of like a sequential order, right? It all goes on in one single line. So the first condition is this, right? If this condition is met, everything else is terminated, like it breaks out of the if-else statement, right? However, if this is not met, the next else-if statement is checked, right? If the else-if statement is true, this will print out and the rest of these statements will not print out. These will not execute. However, if this was false, if we entered 17 or 16, this will execute, right? And this will not print out. However, if even this statement was false, right, we will just go on to our next statement. So I'll show you guys some more examples. So if I entered 15, sorry, you cannot hold a permit, smoke, or drink. You notice how this prints out because 15 is not greater than 21, right? 15 is not greater than 18, and 15 is not greater than or equal to 16, right? And that's why this condition is this thing is printed out because we don't need a condition for this. Okay, I mean you can make your program however you want, but this is just the way how I would make it to say, okay, sorry, you can't hold a permit, you can't smoke or drink, right? So that's basically how if-else statements work, right? So I would say just practice it a lot more. Think about anything that you want to do. It can be anything really. You just have to have an imagination and just practice, and then you'll get better. And then yeah, I'll see you guys in my next video. Peace.